Magikarp is not a Pokemon you can take to the jungle. You're either going to be at the lane at level 4 because you can't clear quick enough, or you're going to be late to the lane at level 5 and you're still a Magikarp, but he's like attacking like crazy. Dragon Breath basic attacks are increased. So that's really, really good. What is the best build to use with Gyarados? Well, first things first, I think it's important with emblems, you need to be running your brown and white emblems. The items I would suggest is probably an eject button or a full heal. I think it's a little bit flexible at the moment. The best thing about Gyarados is his Unite move, hands down. It has an incredibly fast recharge. It is so good at picking off somebody. Energy Amp is hands down, I think, one of his top items. Razor Claw, I just think is non-negotiable, especially in the early game. As a Magikarp, you kind of need to be a little less pathetic than you already are. And I think the Muscle Band is a decent item. I know it doesn't really give you much value, or it doesn't give you any value really in terms of attack speed as a Magikarp. However, when you're a Gyarados, you've got that fixed attack speed, and that'll just increase it regardless of what level that you're at. So I do think that Muscle Band is a great choice for Gyarados. Magikarp is not a Pokemon you can take to the jungle, because if you do your jungle clear as quickly as you possibly can, you're either going to be at the lane at level 4 because you can't clear quick enough, or you're going to be late to the lane at level 5 and you're still a Magikarp. So I think you cannot jungle with this Pokemon. You need to take this Pokemon to a lane. The most important thing to understand with Gyarados is becoming a Gyarados, right? Before we can get into any of the skills or any of that stuff, how do you become a Gyarados? That's the main thing. So you can see under the health bar, you've got a little gauge. You need to completely fill that gauge. Now, you're not going to get any filling passively, and you're not going to be getting any gauge fill when the enemies attack you. The only way you can fill this gauge, and I'm going to turn off some cooldowns here so you can see this, okay, is when you use your skills. So I'm just going to sit here and flail over and over and over, and you can see that gauge is slowly filling up. So even if you sat here, you can see this would take you quite some time. Same as Splash. You could sit here and splash around for the entire first 2 minutes of the game. Even with cooldowns off, it's probably going to take you a little while. So using skills is a way that you can increase this gauge, but it only does it by a little bit. You can use your basic attacks, but this is a very slow basic attack. It's very, very slow. So when you're hitting farm, that is a way for you to increase it further, because you get some kind of a special boost when you're hitting farm or an enemy, for that matter. So that is one way you can increase that gauge. Okay. The other way you can do it is, I'm just gonna go over here and score so you can see how quickly this fills. When you score, you get quite a large chunk, right? So that's really, really good. These bees are pretty good as well, because you're going to be hitting a group of them with that flail, and then you can use your splash to do some escaping, right? So the way you want to fill that gauge is get involved in fights and try and get scores. And if you can manage to get a successful kill or a successful assist, that will further increase that gauge. So if you play your cards right in lane, either top or bottom lane with Magikarp, you probably should be evolving by around about the 7:30 mark, around about 7:30. That would be pretty good if you can do that, right? So all I'm going to do here, I'm just going to, okay, you can see the successful kill was pretty good for me. And I just want to talk over some of these skills here. So that's one way you can evolve with Magikarp, right? And then you see you get the 2 skills straight away, whether it's level 3, whether it's level 4, whether it's level 5. The latest you can evolve with Magikarp is level 7. So I'm going to go level up, level 3, 4, 5, 6. You will force evolve at level 7 and you will get those 2 skills. So that is your other way of evolving. However, you don't want to be too pathetic when you are a Magikarp. Now, when you become a Gyarados, this is pretty much where we can talk about stuff, because as a Magikarp, you've got a fixed basic attack speed that does not change regardless of any of the items that you use. When you become a Gyarados, you can see that you've got a fixed attack speed, and you actually get boosted attacks as well. So it functions more like a regular Pokemon, right? That's very nice. It doesn't matter whether you're level 7 or whether you're level 15, that attack speed will stay the exact same throughout the battle. Right, so the way to increase that attack speed, there's 2 ways: held items and Dragon Breath. Right, and you can see the range it's pretty close range, but it's not too bad as is. When you land Dragon Breath, you are increasing not only the damage that you do, but he's attacking like crazy. Dragon Breath affects, basic attacks, right, are increased. So that's really, really good. So that's what Dragon Breath does. It's decent poke as well into the bush, right? It's actually got some pretty decent range. And honestly, it does some pretty good damage too. So this skill, I actually think it's pretty good. One of the other skills here is Waterfall. Now, when you click Waterfall, you have to dash 3 times, and you can't cancel these dashes. So when you click it, you'll see you can, and you've got to aim with this left stick, the right stick here, right? Instead of with the right stick, instead of the left stick, right? The left stick will move your character around, but you'll move that skill. So it's similar to Greedent in this you know, essence here, right? You can move it around. You get a shield after hitting 2 successful times, and you will stun the enemy after hitting them 3 successful times, which is very, very cool. Let's talk about his other skills. His other skills is Aqua Tail and Bounce, and we are still figuring out this Pokemon, which is the best build. We'll talk about Aqua Tail here, right? With Aqua Tail, you can't necessarily just click this skill once, because, actually, let me turn cooldowns off here so we can see this. If you click this skill once, it will go back on cooldown. So it's similar to Overheat Chandelure in this sense, right? Where you actually need to hold it down, right? And you'll see each time you use it, you can hit 5 times, and then you get this like enhanced attack here. Now that enhanced attack does a massive amount of damage. You will crunch some enemies there, right? In order to get that enhanced attack, you need to hit 3 times of those 5 Aqua Tails, and you can get stunned out of this. So if you're using this Aqua Tail, the enemy can stun you, and it just finishes the combo, right? And if you don't land your 3 successful hits, you do not get that enhanced auto. That enhanced auto is phenomenal. It does a big chunk of damage, and when you level up to level 10, that will do, I believe, execution damage, which is really, really cool. Now, the other skill is Bounce. Bounce is a little clunky, right? Because you can move around, and then the moment you click Bounce, you're stuck, right? You've got a state of unstoppable, but you're stuck, right? And then you can launch off. Now, when you launch off, you can see, hang on, let me just turn cooldowns off for a second here. You can see there's like a charge. Once you get over the charge, you will get a shield. If you go before the charge, you do not get a shield, right? And the longer you charge it, I guess the radius of where you can to increases. But again, this is a little clunky because in order to charge, you've got to, you know, kind of sit there. But the bonus is that you are unstoppable. So it's actually a way to, I guess, you know, reduce the amount of CC that's coming in, and also if this Charizard unites or even a Machamp unite, if you kind of just sit here, it'll keep punching past you, so you can use that to your advantage there. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is this Unite move. This Unite move, it doesn't really, like you can see, you go invincible, right? But the enemies can still see where you are. Now, when you dive up, that does a massive amount of CC, right? And you can go, well, you can't actually go underneath walls or anything like that, but it's, yeah, it's pretty useful, right? And as you can see, when you get that off, you get increased movement speed and cooldown reductions. It's really, really good Unite move, right? It's really good for just diving in, getting a backline, and you can just go in and do some pretty good stuff there, right? So the energy amp as well, because it's got quite a quick cooldown reduction, that energy amp will just make sure you can get that Unite move. It'll pick off a squishy, so you'll be able to kill them, and then you'll get that Unite move back relatively quickly. So I think Gyarados as an all-arounder could definitely function as a very viable dive mon. The only downside to this is all great, but if you're not a Gyarados on time in the game, you're going to be in quite a lot of trouble. That's just my opinion on that one. Okay, the last thing that I haven't talked about is Gyarados' passive ability. Gyarados has a, honestly, it's actually pretty broken passive ability. It is very snowballing. If you are involved in a successful kill, right, whether you are the assistant or whether you are the KOer, what's going to happen is all of your moves, the cooldown is reduced by 30%, and you also get increased stats. You get increased, I think it's 1,000 and a bit HP, like 100 attack stat, and a huge amount of attack speed. So when you get a successful kill with Gyarados, you'll notice if you watch Spraggles, for example, was putting this on beautiful display. When he got a kill with Gyarados, he would just start steamrolling, right? Because he became tankier and more aggressive and was able to, you know, finish enemies off a lot quicker. So Moxie, if you play any VGC, Moxie is it's a bit of a weird ability, but it's very steamrolly, right? It's honestly, in Unite, it's more broken than Buzzwell's Beast Boost, right? Because when you get the kill with Buzzwell, it's like you go on a rampage. Gyarados has a very similar concept here, so this is a passive ability that you can absolutely use to your advantage. But guys, keep in mind, you are Magikarp to start the game, and if you understand how the gauge works to evolve, you can just shut down a Magikarp. If you play it well, if you're a top lane mage or a bottom lane mage and you're up against a Magikarp, you can shut it down relatively quickly, right? That being said, if you are the jungler on your team, you should probably be ganking the lane with a Magikarp because you want that Magikarp getting involved in successful kills. So again, keep that in mind when you're using Gyarados, if you've bought the character, or if you are versing Gyarados, right? You can easily stop this Pokemon from getting online if you play the early game smart. All right, I think we're going to try the Dragon Breath bounce build. Kind of just to pick off their backline there. Like they've got Arzi. We'll beat Arzi. It's good rip on the Trevenant. Decent rip on the Slowbro. They've got quite a bit of stunning there, so Aqua Tail might be a little bit tricky. Bounce is pretty handy as well. If we time the bounce well, we can bounce out of the Guardianite, which is cool. Alright, so early game, what we want to do is we want to try and evolve, right? Successful kills, try and get some score in. We want to fill this Gyarados gauge up as much as possible. As much as possible. Alright, we're going to try and not be bad. We've got an eject button to get us out of bad situations. And we're just trying to hit farm, right? Remember, when you get hit by the enemy, it's no good and you are incredibly frail. Incredibly frail. Right? So we want to take our farm, right? We don't want to hard lose to the enemy in terms of levels, but the main priority is evolving. Right? The main priority is evolving. So Mime's given us awesome vision there. Mime is my duo partner, by the way, right? I do have a supporter helping me out. So in your games, you might... Let's see if we can peel something here. The enemy's looking at it. The enemy's looking at it. Remember, successful kills, right? Our jungler's here, successful kills. They're both sitting on their base. All right, we'll get out of there. Successful kills, successful kills. Successful, successful. That's a tree, though. That's going to be hard to be successful. But a kill would be big, a kill would be big, a kill would be big, a kill would be big. A kill would be huge here. Okay, that's successful kill. Can he die here? Or can we get the score? That's huge, that's huge. Oh, that's very big. Okay, see, okay, so you can actually do some pretty good stuff here, right? You can do some pretty good stuff. You are the man. You are the absolute man. Our lane, our jungler there. All right, that's really, really good. So this is an example of a really good game. This is not normal. This is a very quick evolution. We need to help our guy out here. This is a very quick evolution. All right, and now he plays very much as a brawler, right? He plays very much as a brawler. You do get some pretty good lifesteal, so we need to get some levels here for that lifesteal to be online, but yes, and we need to get a power swap Mr. Mime, and it would be good. So this is a really, like, this doesn't happen. This is not normal, right? We've just got a jungler who's really, really, honestly, really, really good. He's really good. And that helps, right? Because the successful kills and the score, like, I could have sat there and farmed for the whole 3 minutes and you don't evolve, right? So if you're versing a Gyarados, well, that's how you want to... Holy shit, I gotta get away from him. Oh my god, the CC. Okay, that was a dumb engage. That was dumb engage. I knew my team wasn't with me there. That was dumb. That's throwing. That's throwing. I'm just not playing this character properly. Okay. Do they break? No, they don't. Alright, hang on. I'm just trying to... We'll try and CC him a bit if we can. Okay, he's run away. That's fine. We'll take that. That's broken. So unfortunate. Get away from there. Whoop, and Mr. Mime's dead. We gotta get out of there. Whoop. Yeah, we're dead. We had a good start too, man. That's throwing. That's throwing. Now, by the way, I don't think this is a misplay. What do you call it? Zero Aura is doing there. He's like taking all the farm top. We're just getting dumpstered bottom. No, that's not his fault. I know a lot of people will like ping and say he's stupid for doing that, but he's really not. Gyarados is honestly pretty squishy. I will say that. Like, if you don't have that Moxie boost, he is genuinely pretty squishy. Genuinely. And again, I'm not playing this mon well. I don't know how to play this mon. I've played a handful of games with it. So, not that great. I don't even know if this is the best build. I'm just theorizing here. A Unite move would be very, very lovely. Yeah, we can't really do much here. I'm playing him like he's like a tank almost. I'm frontlining too much. I'm playing smart. Oh, you can hit enemies over the wall? That's actually quite a big range. Yeah, CC is very valuable. Okay, what do we got? 50 would be really good here. Is he going to poke his head out? He's just playing so well, man. He's staying behind the pad. Good on him. Good for him. Oh, I did eject button there, but that... I ejected out, but then I got dragged back in. What dragged me back in? Maybe the wood hammer? That's weird. So far, honestly, I'm not huge on Gyarados. Even after the successful start. Like, obviously, I'm not playing this character all that well, but... I don't know, I'm not big on him, eh? I'm not big on him. He's out of position there. I don't want a Unite move, though. Alright, we need to try and actually play like a proper assassin here. Our team's taking care of that, otherwise it walks into main. They're not ripping. I'm not looking for a back cap here, by the way. I'm trying to take them on side on here. If I can do that, that'll be awesome. He's over aggressive, which probably means that tanks are in this bottom L. Yeah, the tank's in the bottom L. If I can take care of this Guardy. Oh, yeah, alright. Alright, if I can get onto him, that's big, that's big, that's big, that's big. Oh man, that's a huge Unite. They're pretty low though, they're on their pad. We do have Zero Unite. Zero's 15. That's a kill on the Guardy, that's really big. Yeah, he's ripping just to put some pressure. It's still a 2v2, they've got Zoroark, but we've got Zero Aura with our Unite move. He pops it and does big AoE damage for secure. Yeah, good job. Okay. We do have to score as well, though. To be honest, we got carried. We were like, just got carried. Alright, that's nice. Hang on. I need to stay here, defend main. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one unaccounted for, so I'm not jumping yet. Did we win? Not sure. I'm not sure. I don't think we got much scoring. We only got like a 200 and a bit. I think we still lose. Yeah, we lost. Did we get that last scoring? Yeah, we only got like 250. We're so far behind. What are our numbers? I don't know. It didn't feel like 80k. It felt like, honestly, it felt like 50. Could have played a lot better. Oh well. I mean, look, decent game. You can see how it works. That's one of the builds. Yeah, that's all there really is to say about Gyarados, I think.